Hey everyone, Mike Burke here with InsideRealEstatePhotography.com, and in this video we're going to get into doing virtual tours with the Zillow 3D Home app and how it could be potentially a good additional revenue stream for us as real estate photographers. So if you're unaware, sometime back in 2019, Zillow launched the Zillow 3D Home app, which allows users to create 3D style virtual tours using a 360-degree camera or an iPhone or iPad for absolutely free. So why is this good for real estate photographers? As opposed to other 3D tour hosting companies such as Matterport, this is absolutely free and there's no subscription or hosting fees. So after recouping the investment of buying a 360-degree camera, you can just charge for your time for performing this service, and it's 100% profit. Of course, this is a free service, so you can't expect the same caliber of virtual tour as you would with Matterport. This Zillow version is more of a series of 360-degree panoramic photos connected together. You won't get any smooth transitions between scans or a dollhouse view like you would with Matterport. The images aren't processed or rendered in the same manner either. The Zillow tours have crazy distortion in them for one, and are just much less of a cohesive experience. Again, these are basically just 360-degree panoramic photos connected in a series, and they're not really a replacement for or even in the same class as a Matterport tour. So if they're not that great of quality and not as good as Matterport, why am I mentioning them and why am I making this video? I'm making this video because there are some unique benefits to these tours, and they do have the potential to make us some extra money as real estate photographers. For one, these are free as I mentioned, so you can charge considerably less for them than you would for a Matterport tour, so it's a sellable add-on for a client who wants some sort of virtual tour, but doesn't want to spend the kind of money that you would typically charge for a Matterport tour. Also, there are some specific benefits to these Zillow tours, and I'll get into those now. This could be a fairly easy sell to realtors, as Zillow sort of promotes listings that include a virtual tour created with their app, making it more visible than listings that do not include a Zillow virtual tour. With Zillow being the #1 place that people shop for homes online, of course realtors are going to want any sort of edge they could possibly get on there for their own listings. So if you can educate them on that, it will most likely pique their interest. Also, as an added bonus, these tours include unbranded links that can be used for them to share the tours on social media or be used in the MLS. Here's some data straight from Zillow that will be music to agents' ears and will also help sell these tours. According to Zillow, listings with the 3D home tour sold on average 14% faster than listings without. Listings with the Zillow 3D home tour got on average 37% more views on Zillow than listings without. Homes on Zillow with a 3D home tour were saved by buyers 46% more than homes without. In short, including a Zillow 3D tour with their listing should potentially drive more traffic to their properties on Zillow. Also, these Zillow 3D tours don't require as many scans as a Matterport tour, so they can be done fairly quickly, which is also a nice perk, and also another reason why we can charge less for them because they don't require as much of our valuable time. First thing you will need to do is download the Zillow 3D Home app and sign up for an account. After that, it's pretty easy and straightforward to do one of these tours. Again, you could use your phone or a compatible 360-degree camera. I've never even attempted trying to use my phone for one of these tours, so I can't really comment on that experience, but I would highly recommend the investment into a 360 camera such as the Ricoh Theta Z1, which is what I'll be using in the demonstration coming up in this video. I will link to that camera down in the description below. It can be used for these tours and also Matterport, and it's just an overall good investment for virtual tour add-on services for real estate photographers. Let's go now on site to a shoot I did recently, and I will demonstrate how these tours are created. Alright guys, so I'm here on site where we're going to do the Zillow 3D tour. It's an empty, vacant house, sorry for the echo, but it's a good opportunity for me to be able to film this and show you this example since I'm here by myself, so it kind of works out nicely. So anyway, I have my Theta Z1 3D camera here on a light stand. This house is just one level, small house. If it was multi-level with stairs, I probably would use my tripod just because it makes it easier to set it up on the stairs going up and down. The light stand, the legs don't adjust to different heights, so it makes it more difficult. We're just gonna get ready here to do our tour, but before we do that, a few things to consider before you start. Put all the lights on in the house. I opened up all the blinds, just want as much light in here as possible. So after all the lights are on and the blinds are open, you just want to make sure the rest of the house is in order exactly how you want it before you start scanning, meaning all doors open to all rooms you need to get into or any spaces that you want included on the 3D tour, all clutter put away, all moving things off such as fans, TVs, all that kind of stuff. You just want to make sure everything's set up perfectly so when you start scanning you don't have any issues. Okay, so a couple other things to think about before you start scanning. Camera height. I have mine, a little over my shoulder here. It's like 5.5 feet. That's fine. You also want to have some idea of the route you're going to take through the house. So the important thing to remember, at minimum, you need 1 scan per room for the Zillow 3D tour. But what's important to remember is you want line of sight between your scans. So you don't need as many scans as you would for, say, Matterport. This is a fairly quick process, which is nice. It's not as long and involved and as tedious as Matterport. You don't need to do as many scans. But you need to have line of sight between your scans, meaning you want to be able to see the next scan point from the previous scan point. So when a user goes through the tour, they can see the next dot so they know where to go next. All right, so now we're ready to get started scanning. So I'm just going to turn my camera on and then open the 3D Zillow app on my phone and get everything ready to go. All right, so the first thing I want to do is tap on virtual tour, and then you could either type in the address or pick it from the list. All right, so that brings you to the add a floor screen. So this house is just 1 floor, so I'm just gonna hit floor 1. All right, so for my first scan, I have the camera outside of the front door, so it's outside of the house looking at the front door. That's usually where I like to start my tours from. It's a nice intro shot, like you're coming into the house, so it's a nice shot. So now I'm ready to start scanning. So now I'm just gonna hit the plus button for new room or area, which brings up your camera feed. You can see we're looking at the front door here, so I'm just gonna hit the capture button. You also can spin around, and get a view of the front yard, that kind of thing. So it's a nice intro shot outside of the house. So now it asks you to search for a room. So I'm just gonna type in front door. So you'll see a front door. Now it's uploading my scan. All right, so I moved the camera back into the house now. It's in the foyer area, which is not much of a foyer, but the front door entryway with the closet. That's usually where I do my second scan, is in the foyer area, so it connects to the outside front door scan. So now I have it into position, so I'm ready to take my second scan. So of course, importantly, you want to be out of the room and out of sight of the camera when you do your scan, so you're not in the scan. So I have it in position. I'm going to get out of this room and do my second scan. All right, so now for my second scan, I'm just gonna hit the plus button again for new room or area. Again, that brings up my camera feed, and I'm gonna hit the capture button. And now again, I'm gonna search for foyer. And now it's gonna upload my foyer scan. Okay, so the second scan is complete. Now I'm gonna move the camera. Again, we want line of sight. This is a big, long room. It's actually 2 rooms. That would be considered the dining room. This would be considered like the living room. So I'm gonna do 2 scans in here just to separate the 2 and to show that these are supposed to be 2 different rooms. Obviously there's no furniture in here or else it would be obvious. But anyway, I want line of sight. So I'm gonna move my camera. I'm gonna have to move it out basically where I'm standing. If I moved it down to that side of the room, there was really no line of sight. It would be going through the wall, so that would be confusing. So again, we want to connect with line of sight. So that's what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna move it straight out to here. So I'm just gonna put it basically right here in the middle of the room. This will be our living room scan. So now we're ready to do that. I'm gonna get it out of the way, out of this room, so I'm not inside of the camera, and do our third scan. Okay, so again, I'm gonna hit new room or area, bring up my camera feed, I'm gonna capture, and I'm gonna search for living room. All right, so now the living room scan is done. I'm gonna move the camera down to this side of the room and do a dining room scan. This would be where the dining room is, so that's what I'm gonna do now. All right, so now I have the camera in position in the dining room. I'm gonna clear out of here and do our next scan. Okay, new room or area. Camera feed comes up, press capture. Okay, so I'm gonna search for dining room, like that. So now our dining room scan is uploading. All right, so our dining room scan is now complete. So now I have to transition into this hallway over here. So again, I need line of sight. So I wanna see, where can I put this camera now where it can be seen. So basically I'm just gonna go right beyond the threshold of this doorway into the hallway, and that will be where our next scan is. And then we can connect off there to all the adjoining rooms. All right, so I'm gonna hit new room or area again. Brings up my camera feed, hit capture. Type in hallway, Okay, so now we got a hallway. So the first hallway scan is complete, but we're gonna need to do more than one in there because we're gonna need to position it in front of the other doors as well, so we have a line of sight in order to jump off into those other rooms so people see where they need to go. So I'm gonna move it down the hallway a little bit and do another scan. All right, so instead of hitting new room or area, I'm gonna hit add panorama to hallway, which is the current scan that we're on. This is what you would do if you needed to add more than one scan to a big room or an area such as this that needed more than one scan. Again, it brings up your camera feed and I'm just gonna hit capture. Okay, so now you can see we have 2 scans for hallway here loading up and I'm ready to move the camera into one of the adjoining rooms. All right guys, so I'm not gonna bore you to death. This is pretty much rinse and repeat from here on out. It's obviously a pretty simple process. A house of this size, I can scan in like 15 minutes with this thing. So it's really quick and easy. So it's a nice little quick, easy add-on that we can use as real estate photographers to make some extra money. So I'm just gonna finish this up and I'll touch base with you when I'm done. All right guys, so I just finished my last scan. Even with talking to you guys on camera and recording this whole thing, it took me like 25 minutes. If I wasn't doing that, it probably would have taken me like 10 minutes. It's scanned super fast, it's super quick and easy. This is a small house obviously, but you know, if it was a larger house, it would have taken a little bit longer, but still it's quick. Compared to Matterport and things like that, it is much quicker. So once all your scans are in here, you'll see them all here. The ones with the green dots have uploaded already. The blue dot ones are still currently uploading. So once you have all green dots here, you can hit the finish button and finish it off. And now we'll take it home to the computer and I'll show you what you can do from there. By the way, after you hit that finish button, you'll have the option to post a listing, which will make the tour live automatically once it's done processing on Zillow. Or you'll have the option for build but keep private, which will process the tour, but it won't go live until you say so in My 3D Homes. So that's the option that I usually choose, and just in case I need to do any tweaking, which we'll get into in a minute. All right, so when you log into your Zillow account on your computer, you'll see all the homes you scanned in there, and you'll be able to edit your tours there and make some changes. So that's why I don't like to post directly from the app, and I like to be able to at least preview them on my computer and make any changes if necessary, and that's what we'll do right now. I have here the home we scanned today, and if you just go to the 3 dots here, you'll see Edit Tour. So once you click on Edit Tour from the menu, it'll take you into your tour and you'll be able to preview it, and you'll be able to make some edits if you need to. Of course, there's not a whole lot you can edit, but I'll show you what you can do. So if we go in the house here and say, we'll click on the living room. So the living room landed on this view. Say you didn't like that view, how it landed on that view. Say you wanted it to land on this view, you would hit set default view, and then you would just hit set. So now it'll change this to the default view when you land on the living room scan. You'll see it's processing. You won't be able to see the changes until it's finished processing. So that's one thing you can change. If I go forward here, if you go to edit details, we're on the dining room scan, so it says dining room. You can change the name of this arrow to something else, and you could also make this the first panorama for this floor, so it would, you know, default to this scan when you entered the tour. If you wanted to change the starting point of the tour, you can do that. And the other thing you can do is edit arrows. So if you click on this, it'll say click on an arrow below to edit. So you would click on this hallway. You can change how it's pointing. Say it wasn't really pointing towards the hallway like you wanted it to. You could change the direction of how this is pointing, and then you would just hit save. And that's one other thing you can change, and that's really all you can change for this. You know, it's not a whole lot, but it is good to be able to, you know, come in and make sure everything is good before, you know, it goes live, and make sure, you know, all the default views are the way you want them to be, and the arrows are pointing the way you want them. So, you know, it's just good to come in and, you know, make sure that all that's good before launching the tour. And finally, when you're happy with all your changes and everything looks good to you, you would just go to the menu and hit post a listing, and it would go live. So that's Zillow 3D Tours. Easy to create, cost us absolutely nothing, and could be a potentially profitable add-on to the services we offer as real estate photographers. All right, that's it for this video. If you found it helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I really appreciate all your support. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I'll see you again on the next one.